preserved my youth. Not only did it capture my goals, it told me the truth.
Conversate for a few, cause in a few.
I let them know we missing you. The love is unconditional.
Wave your hands across the land if we family.
We got a world premiere right here, now get lost.
So off we go, let the trumpets blow. And hold on, because the driver of the mission is a pro.
But let me ask you this. I had a template of a father. I had male role models who taught me about malehood. You know, what would you say to somebody that doesn't have that template, who doesn't have the best type of role models to show, okay, this is how you be a father, this is how you stand up through the trials and tribulations that hit you as a dad?
Yeah, I think having the courage and to reach out, find programs like the Active Black Dads Conference. You know, I don't push religion or spirituality on people, but the church has folks that can help mentor fathers and help people understand, like, it's a grind, man. Like, they really, these kids are something else, and it's challenging. And I really, we all, if everyone can understand, we're all just trying to figure it out. There it is, you know, it's those things in life, Marvin. You can tell me something, and I'm like, yeah, I get it. Then you put me in that environment, and it's like, oh, I didn't know the nuance of what you was telling me. I projected my own vision of what I thought it was, and then you get in there, and you get into fatherhood, and it's like, oh, this I got a teenager right now. Like, it's just like, it's really their world, and I'm just living in it. And you know, it's not a bad thing.
An Uber driver, a banker.
Yeah.
Right. A disciplinarian that's what you don't like, right? You're a cook.
Yeah.
All of those things, right? And one thing that most of us dads will say that a lot of times we're taken for granted.
Yeah. Absolutely. That the men I work with over the years, that is the not misunderstood and unappreciated. That's the common feedback I get from dads and men, family men.
Yeah.
And I think that we as a community need to continue to build our mentorship programs, because we do know there's 16-year-old single dads out there that's trying to figure it out the best they can and being judged for being a father at 16. And we need to do a better job of being like, hey man, shit happens. Now it's time to man up. Like, we gonna help you figure it out. And also just understanding it does take a village. I used to be, when I was younger, so concerned with, I got it myself. Let me handle it myself. I'm gonna get it figured out. And then what you realize is everybody needs a hand up every once in a while, especially once that parenting starts happening. You might need someone to watch your kids, someone that you trust, obviously, to watch your kids. That's asking for help. You might have, you know, with sports stuff, you end up, or activities, you're driving other people's kids around too. You know, like there's always, it's a consistent theme of us supporting one another as parents.
It goes back to that community.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what it is, man.
Yeah. And so, yeah, trying to get in with groups, and just still like the idea of, I call it in therapy, I call it taking our armor off and just stop worrying about how you think people are going to perceive you, saying, hey, can you get my son home from practice this week? I got some stuff going on. Or, you know, you don't even really got to put all your business out there. And most people are going to be like, yeah, no problem. And then you return a favor, and it works like that. And so, yeah, that would be some advice I get, is take your armor off a little bit. All of us then ask for help and probably help people. So it's all going to even out in the end, man. So ask for ask for advice.
Yeah.
Um, I was just talking to a gentleman last night, and he was saying how like his dad's just not was not a super emotional person, and there was a situation where he was not able to interact with his dad, and he had grown up thinking that was his dad's decision, and it wasn't, and it was his mom's. And now you turn around, he's 30 something, and he's trying to figure out what kind of relationship does he have with his dad, who he's never necessarily had that like connection with, and so it's hundreds of thousands of those stories, I bet, across the United States, and we got to figure out how to navigate those conversations.
I think first of all, I want to shout out Tony Green and Bree Markham. Bree was at the conference of the Topeka
Yeah.
Dual Project, and Tony Green works with her, and they have what they call the Dad's Den, where
Yeah.
it's fathers who come together and they just sit and they talk about what they have going on. And he brought up an example at the conference where he said there was a young guy there that said, "Man, I got a baby on the way. I don't know what to do." And the whole meeting frame was turned on to helping this young man, right, and giving him
Yeah.
guidance. I know that as a 30-year-old dad, I made a lot of mistakes, bro. I
You and
made
me
a lot
both,
of
man.
mistakes. And thankfully, I had older men who were dads as well, and they
Yeah.
had like older children, and they
Yeah.
were much older than me. And they would say some things to me like, "Hey, man, we know you the man of the house, but you don't have to exert your authority all the time. You can lead
Yeah.
with love. You
Yeah.
can lead with love." And I remember when I employed that wisdom, I remember my family looking at me like, "Who are you?" Like,
Mm.
I used
Yeah.
to come in yelling, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Then I changed, right? So let me lead with love, like, "Hey, man, don't fuss at your kids when you send them off to school. You're going to mess up their whole day, man. It could wait
Yeah.
till you get home and you can handle things, right?" It's
Yeah.
just those bits of knowledge, man, and I don't even think like my father, because like my father had me, he was 42 when I was born.
Okay.
All he was used to doing was spoiling his nieces and nephews. But when it came down to like being a dad, yeah,
Yeah.
the spoiling part was there, but being able to have that conversation and talk and be there,
Hmm.
he was born in the 30s. So it
Yeah.
really wasn't, that's when we really have what they call the John Henry syndrome.
Yeah.
The story of John Henry, where you just work, work, work until you die.
Hmm. Yeah.
And we got to do better on that. And I have some sisters, we talk about being unappreciated.
Yeah.
A friend of mine was like, "Well, you teach people how to treat you."
Absolutely.
And I said, "I hear you on that, but that's just more work that I got to do. That's just
Hmm.
more of me laying down the law. Like, hey, listen, you took your mom to dinner and bought her perfume and took her to the movies, but you bought me damn
Yeah.
socks and drawers for $5." Right?
Every time.
And every man has that story.
Yeah.
I remember one time, I got a beard. I remember one time I said, "I'm gonna switch it up. I'm gonna shave off my beard. I'm just gonna have like a little goatee."
Right.
Do you know, man? It took, I counted 10 days before anybody in my family noticed.
Notice. Wow.
And
Wow.
the first, wife and kids,
Hmm.
wife and kids. I'm just right?
Hey, let me say it one more time. Wife and
Wife
kids.
and kids. And I remember my son was the first to notice. And the reason why he noticed, he was like, "Dad, can you take me?" And he said, "Change your beard?" "Yeah, 10 days ago."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's hilarious.
it's tough, man. So we got to have community, bro.
Yeah.
And we talked about wives, moms, our partners.
Hmm.
If you could talk, because I'm sure you talk to sisters as well. If you could
Yeah.
talk to them, what would you tell them about, "Hey, listen, man, this is how you could better show up"? Because we know, listen, when we were at the Black Dad Leadership Conference,
Hmm.
accountability was key.
Yes.
Reggie told a story because we were talking about Justin Fairfax and him abusing his wife, taking his
Hmm.
wife's life, and killing and then killing himself. And so we
Yeah,
talked about domestic violence. And
yeah,
you made a lot of sound points and gave good examples about how we got to hold ourselves accountable by how we treat our women. But I think
absolutely.
it goes both ways. And our sisters have to be able to be there for us as well if we let
Hmm.
them. So if you were to talk to wives, moms, sisters, whatever, how are you telling them to better show up for the men in their lives?
Man, that's a great question, and what I've done, and sometimes I've talked with groups of women, and I want to say I'm very aware that it's not a woman's job to teach us how to be a man or take our armor off, like I said, but having an awareness of just the amount of and I also want to say this because I've worked with a variety of different types of men. But so men who are healthy and trying to be the best version of themselves, and they might be down on their luck, but they trying to get it together. Um, please be aware, just having awareness of many of us have not been taught to be emotionally intelligent, and we need to be supported in that. Again, public service announcement. It's not your job, women, to teach men how to be emotionally intelligent, but please use your empathy skills and be thoughtful about asking those questions about and mean it like, how's your day? I notice you're not yourself today. What's going on with you? Like just those questions. And then also going back to your point about um, teaching, we teach people how to treat us, just without it being divisive, just talking with us about, hey, there's another way you could have went about telling me about that. I understand you was upset. Please don't be raising your voice and doing all that. We can have a conversation and come to a solution together. So those are that's just like some language. I would love to see women out there doing. That takes a lot of patience. Um, and again, Marv, I don't want to act like I'm talking to the brothers like that are trying to do the work and have some self-awareness about how they show up and have some. It's so important we understand like where we evolved from when we were 18, 19, when we was running the streets, when we thought how many women we could get. That was a status symbol. And as we grow wiser and realize like, hey, once you find a solid one, you need to stop playing. Yeah, like stop playing around, buckle down, don't get caught up in the noise of what you believe is cool is, or what the rest of your friend group is doing. But yeah, we really need. I saw Mike Tyson say this, and he's probably funny to bring up right now in this conversation. But I did see him. He's a very wise man, and he said when men uh, get to a high enough a level of maturity, they find women who are their teachers. And I believe that to be true. I think also in our um, current society, I believe the way women's brains work as far as detail and organization makes them a more formidable player in our society right now as far as taking care of business. We like black women are the most educated demographic in this country. That's not by accident. And like so we need to be not thinking we got to put our own egos down, men, and learn to accept some guidance from a woman and learn that if you want to be a leader in your household, you got to know what compromise looks like. You got to show up in a way that people want to follow you. You got to figure out how to take feedback and manage defensiveness. Man, those are just a few things that pop up in my mind. But yeah, we need some guidance from women. I believe that is
Let me say this, and let me clarify,
mhm.
because you made an excellent point. I'm glad you brought us back to this. It's not a woman's job to educate a man, right?
Yeah.
You do have to work together. And I
Yes.
think there's times where a lot of women can benefit from listening to their man and
Hmm.
vice versa, because we're stronger together. This
Yeah.
whole system is built on keeping us divided. That's why when you talked about social media earlier, and the gender wars and all the things that they
Hmm.
promote, they know that if we when we're together, we're unstoppable. Our
Yeah.
black love is revolutionary.
Absolutely.
I will say this. If I could give a bit of advice to our sisters, I would say make sure you choose the right man and make sure you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Remember when we're talking about therapy? I remember I went into therapy, and is it called the emotions wheel, right? You check in
Yeah.
like, and it's like 60, 100 words,
Yeah.
you may just like, how you doing today? And it's like,
Uh-huh.
I'm happy. But there's so many other words to be like, I'm elated, I'm excited,
Hmm.
I'm anxious, I'm nervous. There's so many ways that you can describe how you're really feeling. And I think what happens is because of how our young boys were targeted in the school to prison pipeline. There's a
Yeah.
void in our ability to be able to communicate effectively. And I don't
Hmm.
mean just our emotional maturity, right? I mean, some of these dudes just don't have the words,
Yeah. I,
right? They don't have the
you're
right
exactly
words to
right.
describe how they're actually feeling. So I'm pissed off. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm stressed out. Well, use your words, man. Tell us what's happening. So choose a man that you know that y'all can relate and y'all can have that type of
Yeah.
conversation. I remember some sisters back in the day, they said they would prefer to date a man who had a passport. And I was like, that's kind of elitist. Why he got? But they were like, nah, man, there's a difference between somebody who is well traveled and who's been able to see different things,
Hmm.
have some culture to himself, and has been able to, think outside of the box from where he.
Yeah.
So, I'm not trying to put any responsibility on our sisters, but if I give some advice, I would say that, right?
Yeah. I feel like and I talked a little bit about this at the conference. So first of all, I would also say it would be nice to hear people acknowledge that men we've been socialized to that we can be angry, but we can't be sad. We can't be hurt.
Man.
And so
And that's killing us.
absolutely. And so there's again this social layer of we were raised to be fairly emotionless. And when you talk about John Henry and John Henryism, it's just like my job is to provide, and that's it. So if you,
I don't deserve happiness.
right, I may not know what happiness looks like for me. I may not come from an environment where happiness was even part of the equation. So now you want me to be happy go lucky, and I feel fake doing that. Or I'm grinding, I have a purpose and I know what it is, and I'm grinding at it. And sometimes it's not that I'm unhappy, it's that I'm locked in
Right.
and I'm not going. And so, going back to that anger part, so that's a secondary emotion. So sometimes, fellas, we need to, when we say angry, there's something that happened inside prior to the anger coming out. We externalize anger, whatever that initial, like I'm hurt that I went through my lady phone. I'm not judging it. We shouldn't do it. We know it happens. Went through my lady phone, and my lady went through my phone, saw some stuff she wasn't supposed to. Yeah, I'm pissed, but the thing is, I feel betrayed. I feel um, like you like I'm not trustworthy. Maybe the phone is a bad example, but I think you know what I'm getting at. It's like
Yeah,
instead
relationship
of
dynamics.
instead
Yeah,
of just being we say we pissed off, but sometimes I'm hurt. I'm betrayed. I felt betrayed. I felt embarrassed when you called me out in front of our other family members or our kids. You know, those type of things, adding language to that primary emotion that someone experienced, besides that part anger that we've been taught is okay for people to see.
right.